Right. Hello again, everyone. Oh my God, we barely started and we already had problems. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna do it again. So hello everyone. It's Sunday once again. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Drummer. This is what happens when my tech support is not around. But anyways, we still couldn't figure out anyways what's going on with StreamYard. But anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited about this week's guest because he's amazing. I have seen him live a couple of times already this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him again someday soon. And from what I've seen on social media posts, he's very well loved by his fellow musicians, and I think it's because he's such a lovely person and he's super friendly and he's so cool as well. So, my dear friends, please welcome Douglas Hanna. Hey!
Hi,
You can
we
hear me
made it.
now.
We made it.
We made it. That's right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very good.
Yeah, and thank you for staying so like with me. I mean, I'm glad that you didn't just say, "Oh, let's forget
Oh
about it.
no,
It's
I
not
wouldn't do that. I
working."
never do that.
Yeah.
Keep
So,
fighting.
yeah, what's the weather like there? Are you
Uh,
in
Yeah,
Glasgow?
it's been pretty good. It's been mild. I'm just back from London, and I'd said to you I'd been down to see Bruce Springfield, Springsteen, sorry. So that was amazing, and the weather was ridiculously hot down there.
I,
Mm.
I think it's gone. I think the weather's gone really up again because it's so like cooled down a bit for a couple of days,
Yeah,
and now it's so like super hot once again. I mean,
yeah.
I
Well,
like it,
we're
but
we're heading probably back to a wee bit of rain. We always get rain here, so
yeah,
it's don't mind the rain.
yeah. I mean, it's okay the hot weather, but it's because I'm originally from the Philippines anyway, and then I moved to the Middle East. It's like I've had enough of the hot weather.
Yeah, I get that. As a younger man, I always fancied living in a warmer climate, but the older I've gotten, I probably couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my husband actually, whenever sort of like, I mean, I haven't been to back to the Philippines for a while now, but whenever I go there, it could only last a couple of weeks. It is like,
Too
I
hot.
can't
Yeah,
sort of like stand this heat.
yeah, too much. I get that.
Yeah. But anyways, last time I saw you was at Webster's Theatre,
Yeah, in Glasgow,
in May. Yeah,
that was a
that
great
was
gig. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That's
yeah,
a brilliant gig.
awesome. It's awesome gig, especially so like the last song that you did with everybody on stage
Oh,
and
the Neil Young song, yeah.
Neil Young's.
That,
Yeah, that was so cool.
it's
But
always good when they do that. They're quite good at that, the Baders and Sister John, and they always get up at the end and they're quite
yeah,
happy. And Enrique
and
was there as well. He was,
Ricky Mamie, yeah,
yeah,
he's amazing. I mean, he's so really one of the
he's a
coolest
young man,
musicians
isn't he?
ever.
He's a real
Anyway,
globetrotter.
yeah, well, welcome to Ask the Drummer. Episode 86 is all about you, Douglas Hanna. Where are the Hannas from?
The Hannahs are from a wee village outside Glasgow called Strathaven.
Yeah,
Well, it's a
yeah,
very quaint market town, very quiet, very country, if you like. You may have
yeah,
heard of it actually. The Frets, Douglas McIntyre, he does the Frets gigs from the Straven Hotel.
yeah, yes. I
So
think
I was born in that village. So
right. Well, Douglas McIntyre, I think he single-handedly made Straven, or I used to say Strathaven until I actually went there.
yeah, Straven.
Yeah, he single-handedly made
Oh, he's
Straven
certainly put it on the
famous.
map. There's no doubt about that. And his gigs are becoming legendary now. Some of the beautiful musicians that he's getting there. He's really doing a great job there.
Yeah, yeah, and
Very
all those frets events that he so like organized in Straven Hotel. Those are just amazing. It was
amazing. And do you know what the Fret says? Do you know what that is?
no,
No, well, that was when we were 14. That was our first band together. So Lockie, that plays bass with me, and Dougie McIntyre and I, three of us were in a band called the Frets, and he's kept that name going, you know. So that was our kind of
Oh,
school band, if you like, you know, when we were still at school.
oh my God, I didn't know that. I
Yes,
thought it sort of like meant something else. So like,
no, it was just a school band, and we got together when we were 14, and it was an absolute blast, and he's never forgot that. So he's kept that name, you know. He's a clever man.
that's brilliant. I'm glad that you, yeah, I'm glad that you told me that now. So now I know what frets, what it means. But do you know in Scotland it's quite common to have like the surname or the second name as first name because Hannah. That's
That
like a
can be a
first
first
name
name.
as
It can be a
well.
girl's first name as well.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
okay with that. That's cool.
Well, there's a very famous Scottish actor called John Hannah
Yeah.
from Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah, John comes from East Kilbride, but there's no connection.
Oh,
Though
there's
I
no
have to
connection.
say, he does have the, you know, it's like my brothers, John in particular, he really looks like John. He's got that kind of the eyebrows and the hair and things. He's very, very similar. So I'm sure there's a connection there somewhere,
Yeah,
history, you know.
yeah.
Definitely. And it's just up the road. It's only 7 miles. So, but there doesn't seem to be a direct link there, no.
All right. Well, do you have a sister?
I have a sister and two brothers, yeah. Lynn is my sister.
Imagine if your sister's called Hannah as well.
Yeah.
The, Hannah is like the do you know China Crisis
Yeah, so I
from
know.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a song called Hannah Hannah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what that means. I wouldn't like to guess. I wouldn't like to think about that.
So, are you from a musical family?
No, not at all. Allegedly, and if anybody knows my father, he'll never believe that apparently he played the bagpipes at one point in his life. I've never seen it, and I've never seen any photographs or anything like that. But no, definitely not a musical family at all. He liked his music, but it was very, you know, sort of the original country stuff like Patsy Cline, you know, Johnny
Yeah,
Cash, that kind of thing. Very easy listening, but brilliant music. But he didn't really progress much from that. You know, he just liked his thing and he stayed in that
yeah.
kind of genre of music.
Well, what's Draven like when you were growing up? I mean, you said that you already had a band at 14 with Douglas McIntyre. It was called Frets. But
Uh-huh.
so did you have like was it sort of like a vibrant place as well where you had gigs in clubs and things like that?
No, there was like the kind of local town hall, and there was sort of church halls and things like that, and they were very open to at the time. It was called discotheques and discos, and usually they would have a bit of local talent playing at these things. So there were other bands kind of kicking about that would inspire you to play, and indeed to try and help you along, you know. So no, there wasn't a big vibrant scene, but we've had I don't know if you know the Almighty, the heavy band were really big in the 90s. They came from Straven. So we've had wee bits and bobs of people, and there's a chap from, oh my God, Andrew Olsen. He plays a lot of keyboards with some of the bigger Glasgow bands. So
Oh,
we've got wee snippets here and there, nothing.
yeah. But it is part of Glasgow, though, Straven, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it comes under South Lanarkshire. It'd be very much part of Glasgow, yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, I think you are a very private person because there's nothing on the internet or when I
Very
Googled
fair.
your
Old school, Lana.
name.
I keep it all to myself.
Even on Discogs as well, because normally you'll find so like even so like all the musicians so like create or release records, you'll find their names on Discogs.
Yeah.
but your name is not there. So Freds didn't release any record at all.
No, 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 no. We're too young. We did a few demo tapes, but no, we didn't do it. And then we got to about 18, everybody kind of dispersed, and Douglas McIntyre went away into Glasgow and get right into the post-punk scene with Postcard Records, and
Yeah.
he's done amazing. I didn't actually even realise up to recently just how busy he's been. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's released so much material. It's incredible, and then he's had his own record company and stuff. No, I
Yeah.
went from there and went down a strictly rock route. I didn't want to play anything but rock music. Just kind of it seemed befitting to me to be playing and sweating and just loving it. And that's good. That served me well. And as I've got older, I've totally embraced lots of other different grooves and feels and vibes, and that's been brilliant. And Doogie's been brilliant with that as well, because I
Yeah.
probably was stuck in a place of strictly rock.
But
But I
what
loved
got
it.
you?
It was good. But so these rock bands, there was like La Paz and things. La Paz were a big Glasgow band back in the kind of 80s and 90s, and different people stemmed. Like Dougie White, the singer, left to join Rainbow. He went away with Richie Blackmore.
Oh, right.
And the
Yeah.
drummer
Yeah.
behind me, the guy came after me, he's now the drummer with Gun. And Alec Carmichael, he's playing all over it. Burnt Out Wreck, he's playing. So they're all still really busy. Everybody's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
playing, which is fabulous.
Yeah. But have you always been so like into drums? So what got you into drumming?
Um, the very first time I seen a drum kit, actually, I was with my grandmother, and
Yeah.
she worked in this kind of bowling club in Edinburgh in Preston Pines. And it's quite a boring wee place through there. So I had nothing to do. I would go and help her work in this bowling club. And there was a wee Ludwig white mother of pearl kit right up at the end of the hall. And I'd never seen a drum kit before. I had no idea what this was, but it was just like a magnet pulling me in. And
Yeah.
so I had
Yeah.
to go up and investigate and see what this was like. And
Yeah.
I had no idea what it did. It just visually looked amazing. He never left any drumsticks, the guy. So I kind of sat behind it and had a feel about it. And had the old
And
cymbals with the wee rivets on them back in the kind of late 60s. Still, when you hit a cymbal with loads of wee rivets to help with this kind of shimmering right cymbal when you're playing off it. I didn't know that at the time. I was just totally intrigued by the whole thing. And that never left me. From then on, I always thought I need to somehow find out more about this. And luckily enough, uh, my father took in a kind of friend he has to come and live with us for a while. So he was a drummer. And he'd stayed down in London. He'd been playing down in London for years. And he
yeah.
brought a beautiful Premier drum kit and a colossal uh, LP collection, music collection.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was pivotal for me, because he introduced me to all this music and taught me how to play. And he stayed with us
Oh,
for
right.
years. So his name was Laurie Kane. And if it hadn't been for Laurie, I don't know if I'd ever have got there properly. So my dad went out eventually and got me a drum kit, and I've never stopped playing since, to be honest with you.
And apart from him teaching, did you have like proper drum lessons, or did you just teach yourself?
No, no, I've never had drum lessons. And that was kind of silly. I should have did that because you always hit a brick wall. You always come up against things and you're not sure how to get there. So I have to work hard at it now, to get to where I need to be. If it's a groove or even a simple fill, sometimes it's in my head. I have to work it out, and it can take a while, or it can come very easily. But no, that's all down to Laurie. Laurie was amazing. He was a big, big character in my life.
So you've not learned your paradiddles and your sort of
No,
like rudiments and all that.
no. But then I should have. That's the way to go. They made life so much easier. I
Yeah.
do that now, Anna. There'll be at least 4 or 5 nights a week. I'll sit down for an hour and do that because, especially if you're playing with the cowboy mouth, everything's what they call 16ths to the bar. So you're playing it all with one hand. So instead of like, doing that, you're doing it all with one hand. It's a better feel, but it takes a lot of discipline to play that in every song. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of discipline to get that right, to get the feel, and then to relax with it, knowing that your wrist isn't going to seize up and fall off. So there's a lot of technique in there, and that takes a lot
Yeah.
of practice for me anyway. It does.
So, you and Douglas, so you went to the same school together,
Yes,
or
student academy. Yep,
oh, right, and that's where you formed Frets.
exactly.
How long did Frets last?
About between 3 and 4 years, I would think.
Yeah.
Realistically, something like that. It may have dragged on a bit longer, but it eventually fizzled out. And
So you,
you'll
yeah,
hear some of these songs in some of Doogie's recordings he's kept, because he wrote a lot of those songs that we played. And they've kind of came out in time in other guises, but you're like, oh, I recognise that. So he's a talented man.
yeah. So you're maybe like around 18 because you started at 14, so we're 3 4 years, so you're 18 when Fred sort of like disbanded, and maybe so Douglas went to Glasgow after that, and then what did you do? What's your next band after
The
Fred?
next band but was a new romantic band. Oh my goodness, what were they called? Folk Museum. So I had to wear these lovely clothes, baggy shirts, and all sorts. I'm sure there was probably a bit of makeup going on there at the time. But that was a hoot. That was really good fun. I'm glad I did all these things, because looking back on them, it's such fond memories, because you're always
Yeah,
hoping, especially at that age, that you're going to do something good musically and get on a proper path. But it's a difficult path to get on. So
yeah.
you just continually do different things and collaborate with everyone.
So you were a new romantic in the
Oh, I've
80s.
done everything, Anna. Done everything. Country, new romantic rock. I'm sure there'll be a bit of punk in there too. I've had a go at most things.
Yeah.
Bit
And
jazz. I'm not.
well,
I'm not a
did you
jazz.
do any recording? Did you release any single?
La Paz, the rock band, released some things, but it wasn't. It was very underground. It wasn't any big labels or anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that was about it. It was so you could do loads of demos and sell them as tapes at the time. But and no, I was not lucky enough to get and go and do good recordings and get them released properly.
yeah. Because Glasgow was really exciting in the 80s, wasn't it? I mean, with all these or like
Yeah.
postcard, and you can tell from the Hunger Beat book as well that
Oh, did you
it's
read
just
that?
yeah, it's just so like exciting. So
Brilliant.
were you part of that
No,
group?
not at
Were you
all.
part of that scene?
No, and we often talk about. Well, recently, I've spoke to Douglas about that. We did a kind of battle of the bands when we were 15, 16. And the Bluebells weren't called the Bluebells yet. They were an out and out punk band. And I can't remember if it was, the name keeps eluding me. It'll come
Oh
to me.
God,
And watching them, we were all in this together. And that was the first time I'd met Ken and David and these people. And there was other guys from Aztec Camera there, a band called the Stilettos. So
oh
this
God.
thing just kind of exploded. And
Hello.
hello, I don't know what's
Yeah,
happening.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Anna. Well, I don't know what happened there. Can you see me
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, they're
Good.
fine. Yeah. It
The
just
whole
sort of
thing
like
disappeared there. We're going to
it
get
just sort of like went
tranquilized
dark.
out here.
No, I think it's sort of like the screen saver or something. So it just went dark, but it still
Yeah,
carried on. So,
that's good.
yeah, so
So I think that had a big effect on Douglas. I think because he went, there was no ifs or buts. He went straight down that road and imploded right in the middle of it. You know,
yeah, yeah,
he's never looked back. So no, I didn't get involved in that scene at all. Actually, I went straight down a Van Halen, then Lizzie, Rainbow. I went
yeah,
straight down that other road. You know,
yeah. Because so you weren't part of Article 58, which is
no,
like
no.
Douglas McIntyre's, so like early band.
It's incredible you know all that as well. You know, it's
Because now they're actually there's record label called Optic Nerve, and they're based in Preston. I mean, I know there's Last Night from Glasgow, who's sort of like releasing all the albums and things,
that's a
but
brilliant thing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Well, Optic Nerve, they do singles.
Right?
And one of the singles they've sort of like released is an Article 58 single. And I realized it's actually Douglas McIntyre. So like,
This is Douglas McIntyre.
I think it's all like in all of these bands, it's unbelievable. It's almost like there's like a core group of musicians in Glasgow.
Yeah,
And
that
they
seems to
all,
be, and I'm very
and
happy about that because Lachlan and I, the bass player that plays with us, we seem to be getting in these doors now, and it's lovely. Some of the
yeah,
gigs that we've played with these people are just surrounded by a plethora of beautiful talent, and I mean, you've met them all, Chris and Hazel.
yeah, yeah, they're
They're
just
all
amazing.
lovely people.
Yeah. Well, we've got a message from Hazel. It said, "You're the best and loveliest drummer I have ever met."
Ah,
That's a ever. That's Hazel. Thank you for joining us, Hazel. I mean,
thanks a lot, Daisy.
like what I said during the introduction, I have seen like all these social media posts, and people, your fellow musicians, really love you because they admire you and things because you are a really lovely person. You're very friendly as well.
Oh, that's very kind of you. That's really kind.
So, what would you say is your biggest band? I mean, apart from Cowboy Mouth, because you're with Cowboy Mouth at the moment. But what was your biggest band?
There's another band I'm playing with. There's not two projects. One of the smaller ones is Quad 90. And that, believe it or not, this is again Douglas McIntyre. He's integrated in everything. So his daughter has been signed to Last Night from Glasgow, and it's Amelia and Naomi. The girls are called, and this is brilliant. Anna, it's a really disco funk, good
Yeah,
good time kind of vibe to it. So
yeah,
we've done about 3 tracks on that now. So it's myself and Lockie and Dougie McIntyre doing the music for it, and that's going to be brilliant, and that's got a real good vibe. And the other
yeah,
thing I'm doing is a chap called Ewan McFarlane. So I've been a big fan of Ewan's in the past, and it's a real blast for me to be his drummer now. So he played with a band called the Grim Northern Social.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and they were huge, and they were really going places. I'm not really sure to this day what's happened because all the reviews and his album, and if you ever go back and listen to that album, you'll see just how talented this guy is. So he took a break. He played with a band called Apollo 440 there from
yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah, yeah.
He was
Because
there.
I
He was
googled
there
it.
with
I
them
actually
for a
googled
while.
them. Yeah.
He did all that Van Halen stuff with them and everything. And there was
Well,
a movie they did that. There's some movie
yeah,
tracks as
yeah,
well. So that was good. So he's released 2 albums now, Milk and Always Everlong, and he's just releasing a third album. So at the end of this month, we're playing Buttefest on the main stage in Buttefest with him and Scary Board and La Fontaine's and bands like that. So I'm really
yeah,
looking forward to that. And he's a real force of nature as well, like Dougie McIntyre. They're just complete workaholics and incredibly talented. And they
yeah.
give me all this music with different feels to it. So it's brilliant for me to get a chance to vary my, what limited talent I've got, to vary that
Oh.
within all these different genres of music. And it's something that's really challenging, but it's so good, so fun.
Yeah, yeah. I have actually seen them sort of like on social media, on Facebook especially quite a lot. Because Douglas McIntyre, I mean, if you just sort of like follow him on Facebook, you'll find out all these sort of like gigs.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it makes you think, oh, I wish I lived in Glasgow because it's like so I could go to all these.
Well, if you see, I mean, I'll put it out there as well, but it'd be great to see you at one of his gigs. I think you'll really like him. It's really,
Yeah,
really
yeah. Well, a Straven Hotel, all those sort of like frets. It's good when he sort of like has the frets event in places like CCA or other sort of like in near Glasgow or in the city centre of Glasgow. But Straven, I've got to say, it's a lovely place, but it's a bit difficult. It's
good.
not
Yeah, yeah.
difficult to get to if you're just
It's
going
a
there for the day.
nightmare.
Yeah,
They had
but
all these lovely train networks in the 60s that you could go anywhere from Sweden to anywhere in Britain. For some reason, they closed them all down. And so it's not as isolated as you seem, but if you're going by train and bus and everything, and it's a trek, it's a wee trek.
yeah.
If you've got a car, it's no problem to go anywhere.
Oh
But it
yeah.
is country, it is right in the country.
Yeah. I mean, when I would see Mick Had and Jerry Love and Straven that time in last year, it was okay. So, like, if getting there by bus, but
Night.
then you have to make sure that unless you have a car, that you can't stay very late in Straven Hotel because you
No,
have
the next time you're going to Sweden, give me a shout and I'll come and pick you up. We'll take you up there. That's no problem.
to. Well, yeah, I'm really looking forward to sort of like going there again. But hopefully, I'll be able to sort of like get a lift from someone. I was really lucky at the time because I was able to sort of like find someone to give me a lift. So, but going back to Cowboy Mouth, how did you get involved with Graham Skinner and his band?
You'll never guess it was Douglas McIntyre. So Lachlan and I, we'd started doing some things because you got some great bands going on up there. So
Yeah.
he always needs a support band. So it got us involved to play Neil Young songs. And that was called the Youngs.
Oh,
And we supported Hipsway when they played up at the Swaven Hotel. And we kind of were introduced to Graham, who's just a beautiful guy. And I must admit, I was a wee bit in awe of Graham. I got a wee bit tongue tied when I was kind of first speaking to him because I was a big fan of Hipsway back in the day.
yeah, yeah.
It kind of transferred from there to would you like to play a gig with Skinner doing Cowboy Mouse stuff, not Hipsway? And I was like, absolutely. So we went out to a wee rehearsal studio out in Glasgow there, Riverside, and we practiced about 8 or 9 songs, and it just happened just instantly. It was really easy. We got on so well. The groove
Yeah.
just happened, and it's just got bigger and stronger and better. So, but actually, I think we've got about 10 or 11 songs that Graham and Douglas have written, and they're absolutely brilliant. And so I reckon maybe about October we'll probably be going into the studio to start recording a new Cowboy Mouth album. So that's
Oh,
really exciting. So I'm totally immersed in these songs. If you knew me, if I take something on board, I have to totally live it. It has to be in my DNA. So
yeah, yeah.
about constant, I don't need to think about them, and I can just play them, the way they should be played, and hopefully I'll do them justice. So that's a really good opportunity for me.
Yeah, well, that's great news to hear that you're actually going to be producing new music
Yeah,
and recording new music. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's a bit surreal the things that are happening just now, because these things usually happen to you're a younger musician when you're younger and you're out there fighting for your right to party. So it's brilliant. It's coming along now. So I guess it's just my time just now to be involved in good things. So I'm taking it everything that I can
Yeah.
possibly do, and I'm just going to do it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And then next year, by next year, we'll actually see your name on Discogs when someone saw
Yay!
what you are. But Cowboy Mouth on Discogs, there are actually three bands. There's, I think two of them are from America. They're like American bands. And
Yeah,
there's an American, yeah,
that's
there's,
good. So Graham's very quick to point out it's the Cowboy Mouth and not Cowboy Mouth, and I
yeah,
think I think you can get around about it that way because I think that band's quite big.
yeah,
Anything I've seen them, it's really big gigs they're doing, so and big venues. But um, I I think the Cowboy Mouth has been going since the 80s, too. I think they were recording this stuff, and Graham and Douglas, so
yeah.
they've been doing that for a long time.
Ah, and their original drummer, I just looked it up. It's someone called Gordon Wilson.
Oh, he's a lovely guy, Gordon. You'll
Yeah,
see Gordon in everything, absolutely everything I get. I mean, I think he's played with Love and Money,
Love and Money,
you
yeah, and
know,
Town and stuff.
everybody. He's been a very busy man, Gordon. So he's getting older, and I'm quite glad about that because it means I can sneak in the back door now that he's that we haven't.
It's, so is he still so like around? Because I actually saw a clip, a video of him. Uh, it's a BBC Radio Scotland sort of like video, and I think he was talking about sort of like a surgery or something. But is he okay now?
I
See,
don't know much about. I've never met Gordon. I've never met him, and I kind of like yourself. I looked him up recently because I was intrigued myself. He's a really, really good musician, and he was doing this. I think he's got a wee studio at his home, and he was doing wee rudiments, and it must have been like a lesson.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was like a paradiddle shuffle thing, uh, and that's the only time I've seen him recently. But I think it's like theatre gigs he's doing now because he can sight read and he's very good at it. So I think he enjoys that kind of,
all right.
in the pit of the theatre and playing to musicals and things. I think he likes
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it would be nice to have him on the show as well. Hopefully, I could sort of like get
oh,
hold of him and so.
everyone.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, what other bands? So there's Cobra Mouth, and then you're playing for Ewan McFarlane and Quad 90. They're actually new, and it's Last Night from Glasgow who released their record, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ewan's
yeah,
released
apart from
his
those
own
three.
stuff. Ewan does this all himself. He's set up a Royal Stag Records, I think it's called. So he's very, very key. I think I may be out of turn saying this, but I think he had a kind of bad experience with record companies, and he likes to keep it all in house now. So he's got more control of it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he releases his. I think everything you'll do with Cowboy Mouth and Quad 90 will be through Last Night from Glasgow. But Ewan seems to be quite set on and just doing his own thing.
Yeah. Well, it is a brilliant sort of like company last night from Glasgow. I mean, that record label. I think in last night.
Resurrected the whole Scottish music scene, haven't they? It's incredible.
Yeah.
What a guy, he's incredible.
Yeah. And it's not just releasing records. They're also doing gigs and
Yeah.
all sorts of sort of like events. So and I've got to say, I've got to say this. I mean, my record player at the moment, I wouldn't have dreamt of owning a sort of like a high end so like record player if it wasn't from Last Night from Glasgow, because they offered it, and I thought, God, amazing. So,
So
so
I
thank you.
recently bought one because I'd still got a lot of old vinyl, and I'm getting this new vinyl with Cowboy Mouth and the Jazzeteers and all the, Port Sulphur, all these things that Doogie's involved in.
Yeah,
So I bought a kind of second hand one, because I knew it was good quality back in the day, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's been a long time since I've listened to vinyl, and it's really, really good.
Well, if you're going to be so like recording a new album for Cowboy Mouth, you do need to. So, like, I'm sure Last Night from Glasgow will release it on vinyl
Well,
and
here's
CD.
hoping, here's hoping.
Yeah. So, when you're not drumming, what keeps you busy?
Well, we live in a farm, and we've got horses, a couple of horses, and geese, and ducks, and chickens, and dogs, and cats, and so we've got a wee bit of land down here. So the maintenance of staying in the country, you've got to do it all yourself, you know. So that keeps me busy.
Oh,
And when I can, I like to. I'm into my fitness and healthy eating and stuff like that. So I like to try and keep all that going. But that's spinning a lot of plates, so I'm not as diligent as I should be, but I'm not far away. There's a lot happening musically just now, so it takes up a lot of spare time. As I was saying, I'm constantly behind that kit and doing my rudiments and making sure that I'm getting this, especially if you're going to studios and stuff. That has to be spot on, you know.
yeah, yeah. Wow. So, how big is your farm?
Eh,
It sounds
big
like
enough.
it sounds like a big.
It's big enough. And we've bought this, my wife and I have bought this hairdressing salon. It's called Rita Rusk. And Rita Rusk was a big name in the, especially the Scottish scene for hairdressing. So like Toya Wilcox and people like that, Rita Rusk used to do all their, you know, these crazy hairstyles that Toya had back in the day. So that was all Rita. So we bought that, and my wife, she's talented that way, and she's keeping the
Wow.
name going because Rita died recently. That we owned basically a franchise, and that's
Yeah.
coming on. So that's a lot of work too, you know. So we just
Oh,
bought an old building last year, an old
yeah.
Victorian building, and turned it into a sort of boutique salon over 3 floors. So I'm a builder to trade, so I was heavily involved in that. And this part of the farm was an old mill, so I've turned this old mill into a house, you know. So I keep myself busy. Yeah,
That is incredible. It's all like, and then on top of that, you do the drums, and you're gonna be recording music and all this. But I have to Google Rita Rusk. I'm not actually so like
yeah.
familiar with that
No, they
name.
won a lot of big competitions back in the day. They were a
Yeah.
bit of a force of nature and very artistic with it, you know, very artistic.
Because you do so like when I was young, you're like Vidal Sassoon and all
Yeah,
them. So
right
like,
up
yeah.
there with all those names. Yeah.
Oh wow. So were you gonna be involved in so like that hair, or is it gonna be your
No, no,
wife?
no, no.
So
That's
like
not a good
this.
idea. Well, that's where all this comes from. That's my wife. She keeps me kind of as trendy as possible, you know.
Yeah. Well, talk about being trendy. I mean, I have noticed your tattoos. They're amazing. You know when
Amazing.
you play, yeah, when you because last year I've always thought like when I was a kid, or well, not a kid, but teenager, I've always wanted to get a tattoo, but I was never brave enough to do it until last year
Did you
when I
get one?
finally,
What
when
did
I
you get?
finally, I got like a postcard, the
Oh,
postcard
nice.
logo, which is I
That's
don't know if you
amazing.
can, yeah.
That's very apt for you. That's very apt for you.
So, but really, it was the singer of the Chesterfields who suggested what I wanted to have is like it's just anything drum related. But then the singer of the Chesterfield suggested the postcard logo, the postcard
Yeah.
records logo, and I thought, oh my god, yeah, yeah, because I like the cat as well, and I like the drums and everything. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get that. But then I had another one done, which probably you can't see it, but it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's from Stuart Kidd.
Oh,
Yeah,
another
so
legend in Scotland, Stuart.
it's Stuart Kidd. He's absolutely amazing. He sent me sort of like a package, and on the envelope, he sort of like doodled a drummer with this drum kit. It looks so cute. I thought I'm gonna have that for my second tattoos.
Absolutely. It's really difficult trying to get out with Animal and the Muppets, and I guess most drummers will have that already. It's you there, you just got
Yeah, yeah,
that's cool. I've got you. So
yeah,
yeah, it's really difficult trying to get something original. So and I desperately wanted something. So I don't know if you can see. It's like an
yeah,
old, an old military. Can you see
yeah,
that with
yeah,
sticks on the top, and then there's a big skull in the middle of it. So it's
yeah.
like an old marching drum that they would have used 200 years ago, that kind of thing. With the ropes going up the side and the pigskin and everything.
Oh,
Yeah. I
right.
thought that was pretty cool. And
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
diver as well, so I've got that. I don't know if you can make that out. It's the old diving
yeah.
helmet. It's difficult to get that on. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's no, that's really amazing because I've always wanted to sort like a drum related because I've always loved
It's
drums anyway.
difficult. It's difficult to get something that's cool enough to put on your arm, without it looking like a drum kit.
Yeah. So I don't know if you could suggest anything for my third tattoo, but it's all like I was scared the first time, but then once you have it, it's very addictive, isn't
Oh, it's
it? You
highly
just
addictive. You need to calm your bits, you just be covered in them. So there has to come a point you go, right, that's enough for now. And it's good that you do that because if you don't, you'll just charge on in and it'll just be mayhem. Mayhem.
well, maybe my third tattoo will be so like inspired by you. You have to sort of like give me some,
I'll
so like
rethink about that.
inspiration or
I'll
something.
rethink about
I mean,
that.
not too elaborate like you.
Not too much pain.
Yeah, not too much pain because there's. I mean, it wasn't as painful as I was so like expecting it was going to be. I actually quite so like enjoyed it. But then
I'm sure. I think I fell asleep at one point when he was doing me. It didn't phase me at all. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The drumming thing, pain.
yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna sort of like ask you this question because I don't think I've ever actually seen you twirl. Do you twirl when you play the drums?
I do. Back to what I was saying earlier with the cowboy mouth and the 16s to the bar, it's very difficult. If you come off that, even doing a kind of fill that's not right, it can ruin the groove. So it's a very quick fills you do, and very easy fills to keep the groove going. And Cowboy Mouth right now is full of that kind of music. So I'm really kind of concentrating and just keeping the groove. So if you go to Ewan McFarlane, that can be a bit rockier, if you like. So definitely twirling sticks and bring them round your neck and flicking them up. Yes, because you're playing more of a rock vibe there, and it's a bit looser, so you've got a wee bit of scope to do that. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
twirling sticks.
Oh, that's cool. I've got to go and see. I've got to go and see you in McFarlane so I can see you sort of like do the twirl and stuff. Because on Friday I went to see Kiss.
You
In
took me by surprise with that. I didn't see you as a Kiss fan. I just you've been doing this post-punk thing, and you seem to know everything about it, especially the Scottish scene, which blows me away. And then we were seeing Kiss, and I was like, Mike, where did that come from? So you're rocking at heart then.
no, because I think every kid and well, because they were massive, weren't they?
Oh my
And
goodness, aye.
they were massive, and as a sort of like a kid or a teenager in the Philippines, yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, I was expecting them to play "Crazy Crazy Nights" because it was like that was like one of the biggest hits. So like, but they didn't play that.
They
They didn't
didn't play
play.
it.
Nope, they didn't sort of like play it last Friday. But I was made for loving you and rock, rock and roll all night, things like that. So that was really good. I wasn't, I'm not really a massive sort of like Kiss fan, but
No.
I thought they were big. It's the farewell tour as well, so it's they're sort of like last one. So I thought I might as well sort of like go and see them.
So
But
where was this?
it was at the Manchester Arena.
Oh, brilliant! And was it everything you hoped it would be?
Clear. Like it was amazing. I mean, I was like, I don't just I can understand why some people put like a curse word whenever they want to sort of like express how brilliant something is. It was like that. And I was gonna say the drummer. I looked him up because he's not the original drummer. And I think, and I found out that
Eric
one of the
Carr was Eric Carr the original drummer?
yeah, I think he died or something.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think he
just
did.
yeah, Googled them. But this other one, the new one, the current drummer called Eric Singer, he was absolutely amazing. I've
Oh,
actually
you're going to get that gig. You need to be, you at least need to be able to twirl a stick. At the very least,
yeah,
you know.
it was
And
like
I've got a huge
'cause
big double kit as well. I've got drums everywhere. Yeah.
it was so like going up the ceiling and so like playing drums and everything. But because I said to my husband afterwards that I'm not big into sort of like guitar solos because
No,
sometimes
I can go on
sometimes,
about it. Yeah.
sometimes I feel it's like too much when people do guitar solos and stuff. But when he did the drum solo, I was like mesmerized.
Yeah.
Like,
And these guys are all good players. There's no doubt about it. Whether you like their music or not, that's indifferent. But you can't take away their musicality. They're amazing players.
yeah, yeah,
Incredible.
and the actual show, they must have cost him a fortune to
Well,
sort of like because Paul Stanley was sort of like flying from one stage to another, and he was like above the audience, above the crowd, and then there's like all these fireworks and fire. It was all
yeah,
like
well, everything, isn't it? It's everything they've got, they just give you. I've got a good friend who goes to see Kiss all the time, but I'm a bit like yourself. I'm not a huge fan, but I would go and see them. I just never seem to get around to it. In fact,
yeah,
going to see Bruce Springsteen was quite a big deal for me. I don't get away down there very often, so but I had to go to that. That was brilliant.
yeah. I mean, most some drummers I've interviewed on the show, they say that they don't do the twirling and stuff. I just think it's incredible when they do.
Aye,
Part of the
I
part
think
of the
it went out
show.
of fashion for a while because back in the day, every drummer was doing it, and then every drummer was doing drum solos, and they just seemed to be not cool anymore. So I don't do a lot of it. There's maybe two particular songs, and I'll just do it in them just for myself, really,
Yeah, yeah,
just for a bit of fun. But for a long time, it was seen as not so cool. But there's so
well,
many good drummers out there that are doing these things, and they're not just twirling them. I don't know what they're doing, but it's incredible where drummers are now and how good they've got. It's terrifying how
yeah,
good people are now. And I think it's all because of the internet, YouTube, and you've got all this information at your fingertips. And there'll be another. If let's just say you wanted to play "Hot for Teacher" by Van Halen, there is
yeah,
a drummer on there, and he breaks it right down. Slows the whole thing right down so you can learn how. So everything's accessible now. You can play anything.
yeah. Which it's good, isn't it? It's good. It's not like you can do all this thing. But I remember now the first time I saw Cowboy Mouth at Oran Moore in February. You were supporting the Bluebells. You had your own drum solo at the end. Do you
Oh,
remember?
right, I know the song you're talking about. Aye.
Yeah, which is
So that's
like
just a 16 groove. That's all that is. It's just a nice groove to end the song on. That's
yeah.
all that is. It's fun.
I thought that was really good, and I was expecting it next the second time that I
Stay
saw
longer.
you in. Yeah, but it was cut short, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was all like, I've got my camera phone or my video phone ready to actually
And
record
it never
that. So,
happened.
and it,
Yeah, we're told to cut that short. I think no names mentioned, but I believe the band before us played too long. So they cut the end of our shot so that everybody could go onto the stage after. and do
Yeah.
that Neil Young song, you know. So that's all that happened there. So
Yeah.
next time I'll do that, and I'll twirl the sticks while I'm doing it.
Oh god. That's, oh, that's brilliant.
Um,
I'm really looking forward to that one. So what about, so you've been drumming since you were 14. Have you ever had any sort of like accidents or what I call like drumming disasters?
yes, there's been loads of. The worst thing that can happen for me is the snare drum skin bursting, you know, breaking, or the bass drum breaking. So I've had that a few times, but nothing. I always seem to get by. You just start hitting something else till the song ends, but no major disasters like that
Like
can happen.
falling off your sort of like
No,
drum stool or
never done
something?
that. No. And I don't ever drink when I'm playing because my coordination just goes. It just goes out the window. Even one drink's enough to make it smudgy. You
Oh,
know.
right.
Yeah. So it does. It really interferes with my coordination. Alcohol, you know. But
Yeah.
after we come off, I like a beer and chill out.
But isn't it some musicians, not just drummers, but some musicians, they actually sort of like loosen up when they've had a drink and they're
Yeah,
sort of
I
like,
think that's all down to your nature. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
don't need a drink to loosen up like that. But I've seen, you know, some people are terrified before they go on stage, and I've never really had that. I get a bit nervous, but it's a good nervous, you know. If you didn't have something, you know, you shouldn't be doing it.
yeah,
You should be a bit kind of scared that you're going to muck up, because it keeps you on your toes, you know. And
yeah,
alcohol can take that away. And any time I've seen people taking too much alcohol, they don't play the same. I don't think, you know. Very few people can do that. Loosen up to that stage that they usually make an arse of it or something,
yeah.
you know.
Um, what about drumming heroes? Who are your sort of like the drummers that you really admire or maybe
Well,
copied? I don't know.
oh, you always copy, you steal everything I do. Stolen. I'm a out and out thief of a man. There's no doubt about that. So originally, I mean, there's drummers out there just now that are breathtaking, but I find that a wee bit off-putting. But they're so good, you can't really copy them. You know what I mean? They're so good. So if I go back to Cozy Powell,
Oh
Cozy
yeah,
Powell played with Rainbow.
yeah, yeah.
For me, he was incredible. The Rainbow Rising album was my Bible as a kid. I learned how
God,
to
yeah,
play every song on it, inside
yeah,
out, backwards, forwards. And
yeah,
of course, with the whole double bass drum thing going. And Brian Downey from Thin Lizzy, as well as a completely underrated drummer. He's incredible. If I've ever heard anyone playing a Thin Lizzy song, they're not doing it right. The drummer, nobody can play. He's a jazz drummer playing rock music, and he plays in a 12/8 timing with everything. And it's just this unique style that
yeah, yeah.
nobody, including myself, nobody seems to be able to play it the way he plays it. Clem Burke from Blondie, I loved
Oh
him.
yeah, he's
He's a
amazing.
twirling man. He's
Yeah,
you're like that.
he's a showman. He's like-
Yes. So those kind of drummers light my fire, definitely.
yeah. I've got Rainbow Rising actually. That album, I've got
That's
it
a
in my
great
collection.
album. I
I
still
like,
love it.
yeah.
Still love
I
it.
mean, I'm not always sort of like a new waver. When I was a kid, we do love sort of like all these rock and classic rock or something. But do you get starstruck when you see sort of like
Absolutely,
musicians you
yeah.
admire?
Uh, are you talking about anyone in the industry or drummers?
Yeah, drummers or any
Yeah,
musician that you
absolutely.
admire.
I think I'm quite shy by nature. So even meeting James Grant from Love and Money, the first time I met James, I couldn't speak to the guy. You know, it was a bit like that with Graham as well. And
Yeah,
even Ewan McFarlane to an extent when I first met Ewan, I was a bit kind of tongue tied as well. So no, I guess I'm kind of shy. Uh, and like yourself, I'm a big fan. I see you doing your fangirling everywhere. So when Graham came in here, we rehearse in my house now down at the old mill part of it. And the first thing I did was I brought out the Hipsway albums and got him to sign them, instantly. And he loved this, So yeah, I get very starstruck with, especially other drummers. Who's the drummer from Big Country again? That's ridiculous.
Oh, Mark. Mark
Jakey,
Brazil.
aye. So I didn't I didn't
So,
get to meet him, but I was standing, feet from him, and I couldn't bring myself to say hi. So I kind of lose out in that a wee bit. I get too sometimes a wee bit too shy, and it was
oh
really
my god.
silly because he was standing right there and no
Yeah.
one was talking to him. So Ewan was doing an acoustic gig with him over in Dunfermline, and Big Country were playing, but I stood right next to him. It's a great wee stage over there. What's the name? It was PJ Malloy's is the gig, and you
Oh yeah,
can
in
sit right
Dunfermline.
next
Yeah.
to him, or you
Yeah.
can be right next to him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mesmerising. Just sitting in the presence of a drummer like that. My goodness, incredible.
Oh yeah, he's great. I mean, I've had I've had Mark Ezekiel on as the drummer, and he's very sort of like technical, and it was like I should have
You'd
so
be, you'd be thinking you're a real drummer, and they would need to give you all the jargon. Um,
I remember so like listening to him, and he's so fascinating and everything. And he was showing me a stick. You know when you when you're a kid, you used to do this with a pen, and it makes it look as if it's very like soft and thing. So he was doing that with the drumstick, and he was twirling as well. No,
I
he
didn't know
really
that. I'll need to go back and look at that one. I've not seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
no, he's really friendly. He's a great guy. I mean, I was like that when I saw him for the first time because I thought he looks a bit scary. He probably wouldn't say, he probably wouldn't even talk to me or anything.
I think he is very shy by nature as well. From what I see, he's very quiet, humble guy.
Yeah, yeah,
From what I see,
yeah. Well, who was I mean, I can imagine you asking Graham Skinner to sign your Hipsway album because it was like you play with him, you
right.
play with Graham Skinner.
So I'm a fan and I'm in the band. That's a good place to be.
Yeah. And you'll soon be recording a new album with him as
Yeah,
well. So it's almost
I'm
like,
totally made up for that. It's brilliant. As I said earlier, there's loads of amazing opportunities that have just come out of the woodwork just now, and I'm so thankful for all of them. And I'm going to do as many as I possibly can. I really don't want to be saying no to anything. I just keep going.
you should, yeah, you should really do because you're amazing. I mean, if anybody was wants your services, that they should contact you and get your name out on Discogs.
Okay. That will be remedied just shortly. My name will be everywhere.
Yeah. And what about advice? What would be your advice? So aspiring drummers or you know musicians out there, like if they want
For
to
me, for
start.
drummers, is to go down the road that I should have been down and get lessons and even join. We've got in Scotland, we've got loads of pipe bands, the side drummers and the bagpipes and the big drums. These drummers are so technical. If you could join a pipe band, do that and at least get lessons, and you'll get there so much quicker, and you'll get your techniques together so much quicker. So wherever it is, or whoever your idol is, if it's Travis Barker or whoever, once you understand what they're doing, you can play the
Yeah.
rudiments. You get there so much quicker than trying to figure it out yourself.
Oh, that's
Would be my advice to any drummer, even
that's
now.
brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. Do you play bagpipes yourself?
No, my
Do you,
goodness, no.
do you,
No, I can play a wee bit of guitar, but very small, the major chords, not nothing great. 2 years ago, I liked it. So you can get some good party tunes going with a guitar. But any spare time I have, I really want to be doing drumming.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Hazel said never say no. So that's what she said. So yeah, if somebody sort of asks you to play drums for them, they'll never say no. So apart from this new record that you hopefully sort of like start recording in October, any gigs coming up for Cowboy Mouth?
Yes, they're trying to sort out some gigs as we speak. Um, now we blacked out again. Yes, but they're kind of so Graham had something in Kilmarnock and that fell through. So there's been a couple of wee gigs like that that have kind of fallen through. But I think we're playing with the Bathers again. So the last it must be a last night from Glasgow. If they do anything, it's usually the Bathers and
Yeah,
Sister John.
yeah.
So
There's one I think that around September, Aberdore. Are you playing with the Bathers in Aber? There's a place called Aberdore. I don't even know what
I think they're talking about it, but I don't know if it's completely confirmed yet.
I was so
Um,
like, yeah, I saw it on Facebook and I thought I'm gonna Google what that is. I think it's a bit so like, not well. I could sort of like go to most places, but I think it all depends on what public transport is like.
yeah, well,
So,
I think
Glasgow
there's
is the
something
best.
happening at the Press. There's a charity gig that Douglas is doing, and it's involving us with James Grant and possibly the Bathers as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure the format of it. So, but there's definitely something happening in there about that time.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, like, we'll find out from Douglas McIntyre's posts if they're saying things so like Cowboy Mouth gig soon or something. But you've got one with Ewan McFarlane, you said?
Yeah, that's I Love Butte Fest.
Yeah, yeah,
So that'll be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this. That's the next big one, and I've never played a proper festival before on a main stage, so that's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah. Well, again, I mean, I looked it up. I think you can get there by boat.
Yeah, that's the only way you can get there.
Yeah.
You have to take the ferry.
Oh, you're very, but I think you have to stay on the island if you want to see everything that's happening for on at the
Yeah,
festival.
I think you'd need to camp, and I think you'd be lucky to get anywhere now. But camping or hotels or anything like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Airbnbs and stuff.
yeah. You can't just so like go there,
You
go
could,
see
I
the
don't know
gigs,
what you would
and then
do.
come home.
I'd always get a room for you, Anna. That's no problem.
Well, thank you so much, Douglas. That was I really enjoyed that one. And do you want to just sort of like invite them to your next gigs, or like or say whatever to all our viewers?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch
Uh,
that,
do
Anna.
you, do you want to just invite them to all your sort of like gigs that's coming up? You're like the Isle of Butte one and Quad 90. Is there like a Quad 90 gig?
No, that'll not. That's just it's a kind of project more than anything just now. It's just two young girls, and it started off with them doing something at uni with music, and then it's just kind
Yeah.
of grown arms and legs from there. So no, the only thing that's happening is Butte Fest, and then there'll be gigs September, October, and November with Ewan and Cowboy Mouth. There'll be different dates, but there's no confirmations yet. But the dates are all kind of set out, so
Yeah. Oh,
just wait
that's
for
brilliant.
confirmation.
Yes. Yes, we will always see that on Facebook and so like follow Douglas McIntyre and you'll find out more about
Yes,
it.
find out everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I
No,
look
thank
forward to
you.
it.
It was an absolute pleasure. I've never done anything like this before, so it was lovely.
Oh, no, I'm really glad that you said yes to it, though. And I'm sorry about the initial, so like
Oh, we got
technical.
there in the end. It doesn't matter.
I actually look forward to your suggestion for my next tattoo.
Tattoo.
So hopefully,
Absolutely. I'll put my thinking cap on for you.
well, thank you so much, and hope to see you again soon.
You're welcome.
um, and enjoy the rest of the day, the
I
rest of
will
the
do.
weekend.
And
And yeah,
thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
thank. See you again soon. Yeah.
Take care.
Bye. Guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. It's so amazing. I'm really looking forward to like seeing him again, soon, hopefully. And I just love Glasgow so much as well, and so looking forward to going back there at the end of the month for Glasgow's Pop. So if anyone's going to Glasgow's Pop, hopefully I'll see you there and say hello. But that's it for now. Thank you all so much, um, for watching or for joining us live. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. Douglas High is absolutely amazing. He's so cool. And hope to see you all again next week. And I think it's going to be another Scottish drummer next week as well. So fingers crossed. We'll see. Okay, so bye for now. See you again soon. Bye. Bye.